So here is a basic introduction about all the jungle monsters in Wild Rift. This video also shows what type of buff you get, as well as the names of these creatures, and also the exact spawn time of the Rift Scutler, Rift Herald, Elemental Dragon, and Baron Nashor. Since this is Wild Rift, the spawn time is gonna be different from League of Legends PC. Anyway, let's start.
Welcome. Here you'll learn about monsters and the jungle. First, let's learn about the buff monsters. The Blue Sentinel and the Red Brambleback. The Blue Sentinel is commonly called the Blue Buff. After defeating the Sentinel, champions will gain a temporary buff that adds mana and health regeneration. The Red Brambleback is commonly called the Red Buff. After defeating the Brambleback, champions will gain a temporary buff that adds true damage and slow to their attacks. Follow the arrows on the ground and attack the Blue Sentinel. Using Smite will let you slay jungle monsters more efficiently. Well done! You've successfully defeated the Blue Sentinel and gained the Crest of Insight buff. Next, follow the arrows and attack the Red Brambleback. Terrific! You've successfully defeated the Red Brambleback and gained the Crest of Cinders buff. Next, let's learn about the Rift Scutler. Rift Scuttlers will spawn after the game begins, one in each half of the river. They will respawn shortly after being defeated. After a Rift Scuttler is defeated, it spawns a speed shrine in the river. The shrine grants an area of effect movement speed buff and vision to allies. Nice job. Let's learn about Elemental Drakes next. Elemental Drakes are commonly called dragons. Defeating an Elemental Drake grants your team a permanent buff that lasts until the end of the match. There are 4 types of Elemental Drake, and they spawn in a random order. After a Drake is defeated, Drakes of the same element will not spawn again. The marking on the Dragon Pit will show you what type of Drake will spawn next. Defeated the Elemental Drake and gained the team buff.
Now, since these poor guys didn't get any showtime from the tutorial, let's go ahead and introduce them. First is the Grump. This sexy thing is gonna be your next target after taking down the blue buff. Of course, you can go in any order, but this is the most efficient way to roam the jungle if we're talking about time. Next are the wolves. After you kill the mommy wolf and the baby wolves, you now cross the other side of the jungle. This time, it's the Razorbeaks, the poor family of chicken birds that gets sacrificed on every game in League of Legends. After you're done with your bloodbath, you then move to the red buff, which we're gonna skip since you already know it. Next one are the Krugs. Don't be fooled by their numbers cause these guys can multiply. Be sure you've killed all the rocks before leaving the area. And there we go, those are the guys that weren't included in the tutorial. Now about the Rift Scutler, the tutorial didn't really specify what time these guys spawn, so we've tested it for you. And there we go, it showed up at 1 minute 26 seconds. Now this guy often gets contested by the enemy jungler. The perks this guy gives after killing it is very beneficial for the whole team. Not only can it prevent ganks, but it also helps in securing the Elemental Dragon or the Rift Herald. So knowing the spawn time is really helpful if you wanna beat the opponent's jungler in killing it. Anyway, let's move on to the Baron Nashor and also some more info about the Elemental Dragon.
Welcome. Here you'll learn about Baron Nashor. Watch and learn more about Baron Nashor. Baron Nashor is commonly called Baron. He'll spawn late during the game and respawn after he is killed. Baron Nashor has high attack and defense. You'll need a team to defeat him. Defeating Baron will grant the Hand of Baron buff to your team. This buff enhances nearby allied minions, reduces recall time, and increases your damage. New mission. Help your team defeat Baron Nashor. defeated Baron Nashor and gained the buff, Hand of Baron. Now follow the arrows on the ground into the mid lane to buff your minions. Your minions have been buffed. Go attack the enemy turrets. Welcome. Here you'll learn about laning rules. In this match, you will start the game in the top right corner of the map. For your convenience, your point of view will automatically rotate. Remember, you can find the Elemental Drake's location using the Elemental Drake symbol on the minimap. An Elemental Drake will spawn here a few minutes into the game. Remember this location. The lane closest to the Elemental Drake is called the Dragon Lane.
And there we go. Now again they left out another poor guy from their jungle tutorial, which is the Rift Herald. And also they didn't mention the exact spawn time of the Elemental Dragon and Baron Nashor, and of course the Rift Herald. So first are the spawn time. Elemental Dragon shows up at 4 minutes into the game, while the Rift Herald shows up at 6 minutes into the game. And lastly, Baron Nashor shows up at 10 minutes into the game.
Baron Nashor has spawned.
Now with that covered, let's go into the specifics of the Rift Herald, since they didn't say anything about it. Same in League of Legends PC, when you're taking down the Rift Herald, you can attack it from behind for more damage whenever the eye from its back shows up. You can see the extra damage here. Also in League of Legends PC, you can actually kill the Rift Herald twice if you kill the first one early enough. After killing the Rift Herald, you can summon it as your ally. Once it reaches an enemy tower, it will charge at it and deal a considerable amount of damage. It's a great way of pushing enemy towers. You might want to summon it along the waves of your minions to make the most out of it, or just summon it in front of a tower. Remember that enemy champions will try to kill it and prevent it from reaching the tower. And there we go guys, I think we've pretty much covered all the basics of jungle monsters within Wild Rift. Feel free to comment something that I've missed. Stay safe and thank you for watching.